So we've got Max Jones joining the show tonight, and I know you guys are just getting back from last night's game in Tucson, so this is probably the last place you want to be, but we appreciate you taking the time and joining us tonight.
Oh, no worries. It was a good day to kind of relax. I figured I might as well do something with my life today, right?
No worries. First question I got to ask is the Gulls Golf Classic just took place a few days ago, and the Gulls put out a picture on social media of you and Josh Maher. I got to know, how good is your guys' golf game? Because they slapped a Happy Gilmore quote on there, and you could take that kind of two ways.
Yeah, no. I would say I'm more of like a Shooter McGavin kind of consistency type, and Maher is more like the Happy Gilmore kind of good shot every now and then, kind of just picked it up, and he's a good player. But our golf games are pretty good. The whole day was a great day, but that was like my first time golfing since before I got hurt, so it was kind of a struggle.
Nice to get back in it. Are you a big golf guy?
Yeah, I love golf. I just hadn't been able to go because I was hurt, and then getting everything situated for the season.
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest thing in golf right now is happening in Vegas on November 23rd. Unfortunately, you guys have a game against Stockton, but are you going to be catching the Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson showdown on the 23rd in Vegas?
I know. It's one of those things where it's like you really want to see it, but you got to work, right? So.
Yeah.
But I'll probably, it's one of those things you can't really record because you're going to see it on social media, like the outcome and whatnot. But
you got a 7-hour window. It starts at noon, so you got a little bit of time. But I'm sure you've got to head out to the game a bit earlier than obviously start time.
Yeah, like game day rituals are a little different. I kind of got to shut her down all day. My rituals and kind of my routine I go through.
Okay, now I'm not a huge golf guy, so what's happening in Vegas November 23rd between Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson?
Yeah, they're playing like it was supposed to start out as like a $9 million bet, like out of pocket, but I don't think it's out of their pocket anymore. I think it's like sponsorships now, but they're just playing head to head.
That's
and
convenient.
It's kind of unfair now because Tiger's like back into his game and Phil's really not. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's like a Conor McGregor type, Conor McGregor and Floyd Money Mayweather showdown that they're trying to capitalize on.
Kind of like that, yeah.
So now that you're on the West Coast, I know you were in London and I'm from London, so I've only been to a couple courses there. I frequented Thames Valley. How much better are the golf courses there? I know you haven't obviously been able to golf a lot, but the ones in London weren't too great.
Yeah, no, it was great. Honestly, like just the view, being out in the mountains there, it was something like surreal, and just the way that the golf course was maintained, like it was super nice. I haven't been a part of something like that in a while.
All right, enough about all this golf talk. Let's move on to hockey. And obviously, it's a big change moving out to San Diego, Max. How have you been getting settled in, and what's the best part about living in San Diego? Yeah,
it's been great. Everything about it. Thank you, I appreciate it. Sorry about that, guys. Order food tonight. It's one of those days I didn't want to cook. No, everything about it. I mean, right there, delivering food. I get to do that. So, but everything about San Diego, just being by the water, having the ability to, not go through winter. It's nice. Everything about it. We get to go to the rink in sandals and shorts every day, and I'm thankful for that. And the guys on the team are just super nice. Everything about it here has just been a blessing.
Yeah, living in Southern California, which is where I'm at. It's sandals all the time. Even in winter. Unless it's raining, then I have to put shoes on. But I rarely ever wear shoes anymore. It's just that nice everywhere. San Diego is like the best part for that.
I know, it's awesome.
So let's actually talk about your start in San Diego this year. How has the recovery been with the hand injury, and how does it feel to be back with the team?
Yeah, the recovery was good. It was a long time coming. Getting hurt back in development camp, it kind of just sucked, being in the middle of summer and then kind of having to rehab the rest of the summer, and obviously missing camp and missing training camp and not being able to have that opportunity like, everyone else had to make the Ducks and start off there, and kind of sucks, right? But it just kind of builds a lot about your character. Whether you're going to sit down and kind of cry about it, or you're going to, look at the end of the tunnel and you're going to work through it. And that's kind of what I did. And just kind of coming back. It's still tough for me right now. Just, kind of getting everything underneath me, my legs, and trying to get everything situated and back in game shape. And I think I've only played, 6 games, and still trying to get back. It's tough, but the guys that I've been playing with, and the staff and the coaching, and they've all been, right under my wing with me, and they've all helped me, and just couldn't be more thankful.
Yeah. Now you're saying there that it's been a little bit of a struggle. You're not quite where you want to be, but I mean, in the 6 games you have played, you've already got 3 assists, 4 points. You had 3 assists in 25 games for London last year. How has the transition been from junior hockeys to the AHL?
Yeah. Last year was a little different of a year. I haven't had a year like that in a long time. It was just, I couldn't get the puck to go in the net from other guys. I just, make great plays, but they just weren't going in. It was a big running joke. I think at one point there, I had like 19 goals and 1 assist in 21 games. I was having almost like a goal a game, but just 0 assists. It was the weirdest thing ever. And, but now it's just one of those years, right? But now I come down here and you make simple plays, you do the right thing, and you'll get the points rewarded. And, my plus minus is pretty good too, so that kind of feels good to kind of not be getting scored on, right? And I get back into the game, and just the season so far right now, it's going pretty well. The guys I've been playing with Terry and Steele, and we're doing pretty well together, and we feed off each other pretty well.
Yeah, I remember last time we talked, it was right after that season has ended, and you were lamenting the fact that nothing was going well that season in London. Nothing, you were getting the puck to guys, it just wasn't going to the back of the net. You don't have those types of seasons often. It was ridiculously bad luck to have that, and it's been a great, I guess, resurgence. Nice to get back from the injury and kind of make that transition finally to pro hockey.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. The thing about last year is I was so glad that I was putting the puck in the net. If I had the assists, usually you get more assists than you do score goals, right? I would have had a lot of points last year, and it would have been a whole other story. But the puck wasn't going in, so kind of sucks. But it's no big deal, right? So
yeah. So getting into the AHL, have there been any unexpected hurdles? Obviously the injury wasn't one that you were expecting or hoping to have to deal with. But are things, maybe a little bit easier or tougher than you expected going from juniors to the AHL?
The toughest thing probably right now is probably cooking at home, to be honest with you. Nothing even hockey related. It's all about just living on your own, right? Doing laundry and all that. It's got to be in a grown up now, right? So that's probably the toughest part. But on the ice, nothing really changed. The speed of my game hasn't changed. My strength hasn't changed. The guys that you play against, it changes a little bit. They're older. They're maybe a little bit stronger, and that situation kind of changes. But it definitely doesn't change my game or the way I approach it or how I play differently from junior to pro now. I'm still going to be the same player. So.
Well, you scored your first regular season professional goal on November 3rd against Ontario. How did it finally feel to hit that milestone? Because I know you've already got your first pro goal back in the playoffs in 2016-17, but how did it finally feel to get the regular season one under the belt?
Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice, especially just kind of that circumstance. We were trying to get back into the game against them and put that one in off it was a great little chip pass from Troy, and to put that in, it felt really good. Kind of get that out of the way early. I didn't have to, wait a couple of games and not have that, monkey on my back. And it was really nice to get that off my shoulder.
You mentioned playing with Sam Steele and Troy Terry, and that's kind of been a recent thing because Sam Steele just got sent back down to San Diego. How has that gone so far, and have you guys been able to start building some chemistry?
Yeah, it's been going great. We played now 2 games together on a line, and I think right off the bat, we were actually connecting pretty well, a lot better than I think I thought we were going to. Just the way it is. You play with new guys and on a new line, it's going to take a little bit to click. But we were making some good plays up on the rush in the O-zone. We were cycling the puck well, finding each other in the areas that we were all in, and I think that's what's going to make us successful. And yeah, yesterday's game we did, pretty well. We got better than us, but we're taking it day by day, and I think game by game we're just going to keep getting better and better.
Well, I know a lot of Ducks fans are excited to see that line, and I think a lot of them feel it's a matter of when, not if, you crack the lineup with the Ducks. What do you hope to bring to the team, and how do you feel your style meshes with the way the Ducks currently play?
Yeah, well, obviously I'm a big power forward. I'm 6'3" and 20 pounds now. I've lost a little bit of weight just from getting back playing, but I'm like 6'3", 220, and I can skate like the wind, and I think that's my best asset is that I'm a really big guy that can skate really fast, and I think that's what they liked and praised most about me. So I think that's something that I will have to bring to the next level and just use my speed. And another thing is my toughness and my grit. The corners is something that I can work easily down low, and finishing my checks on defensemen, it's going to open up a lot of ice for my line mates, whoever I play with, and I think that's something that I'd have to just bring to the next level, and that's the way I will fit in with the Ducks.
For sure. And what, if any, advice have the veterans you've played with in the Ducks organization or that you've been around given you to help make that transition or even help come back from the injury? Of course, you've got guys like Ryan Kessler in the organization who's also trying to come back from an injury and start playing again. So what kind of advice have you gotten from those guys?
Yeah, back when I was hurt still in Anaheim, I was skating and doing rehab with Patrick Eves, and he's got to be one of the nicest guys I think I've ever met. Having a veteran like that kind of be over you and talking to you and helping you out just the way that he was trying to come back from injury also was something that was pretty special to me. I think as a young guy just starting his pro career and being able to come back from an injury with a guy who's been played in the league for years and years, it's something that I'll hold close to my heart for, forever. I know that some days were going to be rough for me, and they were tough for me, and he always kind of just held me up and helped me out. And I think it's great seeing him back in the lineup too. It's something I kind of shared with him, that we would come back from injury and start playing well and get back on the ice and doing what we love.
All right. Oh, that's awesome. And it's cool to hear Eves, is being able to kind of help out some of the younger guys. Do you guys, is this something that you guys would do? You actually pay attention to what goes on in Anaheim? Like, I don't know if that's like an everyday thing or just, you guys are just very aware of what's going on, or literally you got your own thing and that's all you're caring about.
No, we usually keep up to date with what's going on there. We usually watch the games when they play, and we'll see the teams, and obviously we know when guys are going up or coming down. And obviously what's going on. Every single one of us wants to be there, right? So you want to keep up the task, and at the same time you kind of got to stay in your own kind of situation, right? You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. So it's kind of a medium where you're just in between the two.
Yeah, so kind of like you're a hockey fan watching the team. You kind of want to be, aware of what's going on in case you get that call up and you might be, involved in it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and then one of the other questions that a lot of people have been kind of asking Anaheim fans is they aren't too happy with the start of the season, or maybe calling to replace the coach Randy Carlyle with Dallas Eakins. Is that something you guys ever focus on, or do you just kind of tune out from what a whole bunch of fans say and you just kind of keep it within the hockey realm?
No, we just do our own thing. Most guys on the team, they're in there. We're the ones on the ice playing, so we got to stay close and stay connected, and we don't really focus on what goes on with the fans or what they say or what they think. It's more of kind of like we got to stay focused to ourselves to make sure that we're producing wins and points and that sort of thing to keep the fans happy and keep the coaches happy and keep everyone happy. It starts with us, and that's what we got to stay focused on that and our task at hand. We can't get too distracted.
Yeah, and with all the recent coaching news around the NHL, I'm just fascinated to know what Dallas Eakins is like as a coach. Now, I don't need you to go full Ottawa Senators in your opinion, but just let the fans get an idea of his coaching style.
No, Dallas is a great coach. I remember 2 years ago when I came down for playoffs, I'd never met him really before other than the camp and never really been around him. And he was very welcoming to me. When I started playing, he found out that I was actually Ubering to the games, and he lent me his car. So I had his car, and I was driving to the games and driving to the rinks for practice and back. He actually lent me his car, and I'd never actually had that sort of connection to a coach before, and it was pretty special. And then coming out here now again, he's very close with the team. Each guy knows where they stand with him, and I know where I stand with him every day. And he's a very welcoming guy, and just his whole family. I mean, I've met his family just from going to like team dinners, and they're just great people. And just him as a coach, he knows how to handle certain players and knows how to coach certain players. I mean, some guys are very fired up, and like I get really fired up sometimes on the bench, and I need to just, a little calm down sometimes, and he knows how to handle me and tells me how to, relax a little bit. And then, he knows how to do the opposite with, the guys who need a little boot up and a little, kick in the butt, like to kind of get going. He knows how to coach each guy personally. And I think that's something that stands him out most differently to other coaches. He does a great job at that. And every day on the bench, it's easy to play for him, every day in and day out, and on the ice in practice.
One thing I want to talk about, too, because it just recently happened in Anaheim, was the retiring of Paul Kariya's number. Did you get any chance to be involved in that in any way, or to come up and meet Paul? And I know it's a little bit past both of our times and not being really able to watch him play with the Mighty Ducks when we were growing up, but what do you remember most about him playing as well?
It's not past my time.
Yeah, I wasn't really I wasn't really around when that was going on, but I haven't really met him either. But I've heard a lot of nice things about him. I've seen tons and tons of highlights of him. I remember him playing back in the day, and my dad actually, because my dad played in the NHL too, so he knew about Paul, played against him, and just said he was a really good player, just a great player. And I mean, there's no reason why he got his number retired, right? So.
All right, well, I guess the last thing, I feel like everybody's been talking about it a bit, and maybe it's a little bit more relatable because your buddy Alex Fermenton was kind of mixed up into it, and answer this however you want, but what are your thoughts on the whole Uber situation with the Ottawa Senators and their recent trip to Arizona? What do you make of that whole situation?
Yeah, I don't know. I had talked to Formo about it, and he said nothing really came out of it because they were just, I mean, they're in an Uber just talking as a team and connecting. I mean, obviously they were going through a hard time, and I mean, that's just kind of what they were talking about, how they came together and were talking. And I mean, kind of a pretty bad guy move of the Uber driver to kind of do that. But
yeah,
it was a dick move. You can say it. It was a dick move.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. Yeah. I mean, you can't be doing that. But I mean, it's just, you got to watch your back too. I mean, it just seemed very open. They were having that conversation in the car. It kind of just, there's a time and place for everything, I guess. But they were pretty unhappy with what was going on. Obviously, you could tell, and it just wasn't the right place to be talking about it.
For sure. I mean, I don't want to have to end it on that note, but I mean, it was great having you on the show, Max. Sorry to end it out on the Uber conversation, but we all look forward to seeing you play in San Diego this year, and hopefully eventually getting a call up to the Ducks and showing everybody what you can do. So we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Hey, no problem, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.